Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So it's time to talk all things Nightwish, but more specifically, all things Nemo. Nemo was the first single from their fifth studio album Once, and for me, this was the moment that Nightwish really launched onto the global stage. This was for me the moment that Nightwish became a massive success. Before they were already pretty big in parts of Europe and South America, but this for me was the song that acted as a trigger, as a launch pad for the band, and gave them that commercial success that I think they really deserved. And they took advantage of it. I think they had the opportunity. The opportunity was there to strike the iron whilst it was hot. And Nightwish did precisely that with this lead single from their Once album. And boy, is it a terrific song. Even to this day, you listen to this song and it's still, to me, it's actually grown on me over the years. It's not got less good, it's got even better over time. And there are different reasons for that I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm also going to talk about why I think it was such a big breakthrough. And we're going to start here with the fact that actually this wasn't an easy song for the band to put together and to release. It underwent various versions before the band were happy with it. And in fact, apparently a lot of that's to do with the recording engineer's feedback, Teru Kinnunen, who, I quote, said, "This part is completely stupid, take it away and we need to slow this down by about 10 beats per minute." Tuomas goes on to say, "We rearranged it again and again. I can't even remember how it went originally. It must be on one of my floppy disks." For those of you that remember floppy disks, well, you'd have to be very young, I guess, not to. I think this was a good decision for me, actually, because I dare say, had they released a version that was longer or faster, I don't think it would have worked. I think Nemo is absolutely perfect as it sounds, as it is. If you made the song longer, I think it would possibly lose its impact, as, you know, it kind of works well with that very melodic piano, or that piano melody, and just the sort of short impacts that just even Tyre's wonderful chorus has. And then you have that epic orchestral moment towards the end with that brass and string section coming from the London Philharmonic Orchestra. I do think if this wasn't made quite as accessible as it was, they maybe wouldn't have had quite that same level of impact that it did. So that's, for me, one of the reasons. Partly that they made it more concise and therefore more accessible, but it's also just an absolutely brilliant song as well. Let's face it here, guys. So a bit more on Nemo, that it actually, yes, it's nothing to do with the Disney film Finding Nemo. Tuomas does like to stress this. It actually translates in Latin, from Latin, to no name. And this is about Tuomas really personally, I think, and his struggle for his own identity or his purpose, his direction in life. And at this time in his life, he kind of reflects on that, I think. And the song itself and the way it's delivered is a sort of catharsis for him. It's a release of his feelings, of his conflicted self, I think. And I think Taya translates that brilliantly in the performance, her vocal performance of the song, and the way she sings these particular lyrics I'm going to read to you now. "Oh, how I wish for soothing rain. Oh, how I wish to dream again. Once and for all for once. Nemo my name, forevermore. And if you're a better singer than me, or you can sing like Taya, you should sing it as Taya sings it, because it is absolutely just majestic in all possible ways, I think, the way that is sung." Another thing about this song that I really love, and actually, of course, just going back on the point of the lyrics, I do think that actually you can see with the way Tuomas is describing, you know, his wishes, as it were, and, you know, that he's kind of, Nemo, my name forevermore, is kind of him doubting himself and sort of this darkness. But the song at the same time manages to be hopeful and very, very powerful and uplifting. So for me, that's him trying to release these feelings, but by releasing them, maybe helping him find his true purpose. Now, another thing I want to mention is that the video for this song was obviously another reason for me for its huge success. It was directed by Antti Jokinen. Now, that's significant because he's worked with huge name artists, the likes of Celine Dion, Eminem, and Celine Dion. And I think at that time in the 2000s, when MTV videos were still very popular and videos on lots of music channels were still popular, back then, getting your single out through those channels was a big win. And for Nightwish at that time, with, as I say, the platform I think they already had, getting a video out through this director and getting that broadcast to the masses was a huge thing for Nightwish at that time, and because lots of us, it wasn't pre-internet era, but it was pre-music sort of really taking off in the internet era properly for me. It was before it was so easily accessible to the masses. It was before that sort of, the download era as such was just starting, but I don't think it had really taken off quite in that way. People were still watching TV is what I'm trying to say, right? We were still watching music channels. So it's interesting actually reading up about what Taya said about the video as well, that actually she says, we had an initial no from NTV at the time because they didn't want to show a video that was in the snow. And how must have that sounded to a Finnish band, a band that are from Finland, I mean, a very cold country with lots of snow, right? So that must have sounded odd to them at that time. But for me, the video and it being in the snow with Taya in a red coat is in and of itself a very striking image. And another reason maybe why this song is so popular, and in fact at Nightwish gigs, Taya said she started spotting lots of these red coats popping up here and there, and that in of itself is quite a funny thing. And certainly I'm sure if you're a Nightwish fan, you've probably seen this many a time. The last thing I want to mention is that this song was actually nominated by Kerrang in 2005 for Best Single, along with other singles, and the band actually won the award was Foo Fighters with their song The Best of You. And for me, back then I might have chosen, I'll be brutally honest here, I might have chosen the Foo Fighters song that year, because at that time I wasn't super into Nightwish or symphonic metal more generally. But now in 2025, I think I know who I'd choose for this award. I think I would choose Nightwish, and I think I would choose Nemo. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you enjoy my symphonic metal content, all this kind of stuff, don't forget to check out my recent video, which was ranking lots of modern symphonic metal band albums together in one pretty big list. There's some really good symphonic metal out there in modern times as well. Don't just stick to only Nightwish, because I do think you're missing out. Other bands have done good spins on symphonic metal. Yes, a lot of people say symphonic metal is saturated, but for me there are still opportunities out there to make great symphonic metal, and I do encourage you to check out some of the bands from that video, the likes of, Ad Infinitum, Elvalon, Everdawn, all those kind of bands have put out some really great material recently. So anyway, I'll stop going on. Do drop a like and a sub if you're new to my channel, you want to support my content. Otherwise, from me, until next time, it is bye for now.